Hello, friends, and welcome to your May energy reading. I'm so excited to be here with you today. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. I'm Jen Sway. I'm a soul whisperer, certified life coach, and intuitive tarot reader. So let's go ahead and consult tarot for what's coming up for you this May, whether it's in your relationships or your career. We have 4 distinct groups with a crystal associated with each. For group 1, we have the Druid-Wicca tarot deck that's associated with the Tiger's Eye crystal. Next, we have the Mystical Cats tarot deck, and it is associated with Botswana Agate. Next, we have the Rider-Waite traditional tarot deck, but in the pocket edition, and this one is associated with the Blue Lace Agate. Lastly, we have the Mystic Farie tarot deck, and this one is associated with the Black Tourmaline and clear crystal quartz crystal. So go ahead and take a moment here to just feel it out, see which one you're intuitively drawn to. And whichever one you feel intuitively drawn to, you can go ahead and go down to the timestamp now to get your reading. Hello, group number 1. You chose the Druid-Wicca tarot deck as well as the Tiger's Eye crystal. So this is telling me that you need a lot of strength, that you're maybe pulling on that strength for you. Maybe you're going through a change in your life or going through something where you don't think that you can do it, but you know that this is good for you. You know that this is helping you create more results in your life. It's helping you guide you to your best self. So just need to remind you that you do have the strength and to pull on any crystals that you might have, pull on any messages that you have, and just take what resonates here, because we are going through Mercury in retrograde. Things kind of feel all over the place. So let's go ahead and see what the cards have for you today. Now, these are really giant cards, and I just want to point out to you like the size of these, as well as the Tiger's Eye. I feel like maybe you were pulled to this because it is so much like larger than life, and right now you are in that expanding energy to create something that is larger than life, something that goes beyond your limiting beliefs, beyond what you've been told, beyond what you think is even possible for yourself, and you're ready to kind of blow your own mind in that way. So instead of shuffling these cards, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to just intuitively pull from here. So first up, we have the Queen of Cups, and this is representing kind of what I'm seeing your energy as, especially as it is part of a court card. So this is what it looks like upright. And we see this woman, this queen, who has a cup, who's next to some water. She's all in her feels. Oops. The full moon is out. It's like full moon, really about following your intuition here, really about feeling your feelings and seeing within that, like, where is the wisdom coming from. So one of the things too that I see is that she's not sitting in her chair, right? She's standing up. She is fully being present in the moment. She's fully into receiving this cup, like almost like open cup, right? Where you're just ready to receive from the universe. You're surrendering to your intuition, surrendering into your body. And what I'm seeing this as reverse is that perhaps there has been something that has been blocking you from being able to actually fully be able to feel your feelings, be able to listen to your intuition and whatnot. So let's go ahead and find out what that block is. Going to try to shuffle these a little bit. So what I'm seeing for you is the King of Pentacles. And also, let's see what your future goal is that you're working towards that's perhaps bringing this blockage. We have the Lord. Okay. So I'm getting a lot of relationship energy here because we have the King and Queen, and then we have a lot of masculine energy as well with the Lord. This is number 4 in the tarot deck. The King of Pentacles is somebody that's like very in their masculine energy, especially when it comes to the world, when it comes to materialness, material wealth, status, perhaps even just home life, family life. And so I'm seeing this dynamic between you two. So perhaps you're more in your feelings, more in your intuition, and then your partner or this person who's in your life, this masculine figure that's in your life, is more worldly, more grounded here on earth. And perhaps that this energy is even pulling you down in some way, that maybe you need to create some space here, you need to create some type of, bubble where you can go into just being your own energy, be in your fields, because you being such a flowy, dynamic individual who is really in their feminine, is really ready to receive, like perhaps that this grounding energy is too much. And on the other side, if you feel like you've been too much in your feels, that you don't know which way is up, which way is down, because Mercury's in retrograde, your feelings are all over the place, perhaps leaning into the King of Pentacles type of figure as well. But because I'm seeing here too, like that this is perhaps a past influence for you, maybe something that's a source of worry for you, to take a step away, that it's okay to take some time of respite for yourself. And it's all because your future, you really focus on creating a future for yourself. I see number 4 as the number of manifestation, of like bringing into the material world, bringing a lot of work energy, that you're working towards something. There is something that is requiring energy for you to go ahead and do. And currently all this worry around this figure in your life is not allowing you to see clearly, to feel clearly, and to be able to move forward. What I'm seeing for you too is like in your future, like something that maybe you're aiming for is some more structure in your life. You want to create some more protection or boundaries in your life. Maybe you even want to just create some more accomplishments, whether that is in your career, in your relationships. You're ready to like really up level, like we were saying, like you're really in this big energy. You're requiring strength to keep moving, keep going forward, and you don't want to be held back by the past. You don't want to be held back by this masculine, you have to hustle energy, or that there is all this pressure of having to take care of like a family, or take care of your basic necessities, or anything like that, that maybe you've been really rigid and stuff in the past. Maybe you've been thinking too much about yourself, or how you're going to be able to provide for yourself, provide for your family. And instead, what we see here is that there is a new change that you're trying to create. And it's a time of restructuring, like, because the Lord is very like in his masculine too, right? So it's almost like shifting his energy from maybe material world into more values aligned structure of, with your queen energy, with your flowy, emotional, intuitive energy. How can we now create a new structure which is going to allow you to be able to provide for yourself, have the material wealth and all the stuff, but in a way that feels right to you, in a way that is aligned with where you are going. Now let's see what else we have here for potential influences. Maybe in your past, I'm seeing something else too of subconscious stress, like something in your past that is maybe holding you back, maybe bringing up messages for yourself. And I see the King of Wands here. So we have a lot of masculine energy. And this being said, like, I'm just going to move this over here so that we can restructure. Okay. So we have a lot of masculine. We got 2 kings, we got a lord, and we only got 1 queen of cups, and that is being overturned. So what I'm seeing is really this need to be lean on your structure, lean on some more of the decisiveness, where maybe your emotions don't feel clear right now, but your logic and reasoning is actually the place to turn towards right now, which is really interesting, because typically we talk about like, following your intuition. You're very good at that on a normal basis, but for whatever reason, with the goals that you're trying to hit right now, a lot of masculine energy is coming out. So it's really asking you to take action, but like being really mindful about it. The King of Wands is the king of intuition, the king of magic. He is somebody who tends to be a lot more optimistic about life, who is able to hold vision and also inspire others. So what I'm seeing here for you is that maybe there is this subconscious stress that's going on, that's attached to your past influence and past worries, that's asking you, like, are you really able to be optimistic here? Are you really able to believe in whatever the future has to hold for you? The King of Wands is also somebody who really values freedom, who really values that fiery energy of being able to burn down whatever it is that's not serving them and be able to create for it, like always having that future vision. So I'm seeing maybe you have some stress too about like, are you strong enough? Are you really able to do this? Are you able to create the dreams that you really want? Or are you going to be stuck always in this like constant worry energy, almost like scarcity mindset that's always thinking about like your finances, your material world and whatever else that's kind of very 3D and like in the matrix of things. And I see this too with like how you chose the Tiger's Eye, that you need some strength right now. So let's see what card is going to come up for you to see where you're gonna find your relief, where you're gonna find your respite. And we see the Moon. So this is another major arcana card here. We got some really interesting dynamics here where in your more past oriented energy, we have the Kings and this masculine energy, perhaps even associated with people. So like think masculine figures. It doesn't have to necessarily be a man. It can be somebody else in your life who just has really masculine energy. But seeing if there's any particular person that resonates with you here that could be influencing you. And then also in your future, we have this major arcana. So really that what you're working towards right now is going to be a huge life transition for you. It's going to up-level you to this next chapter of your life. And with the Moon, it is all about intuition. And it's really funny because we see kind of the parallels here, both in the color scheme, both with the Moon, both with how her eyes are closed, kind of looking up. And then also these, this wolf and this coyote being able to look up and howl at the moon. Something really interesting here is almost like this idea of you need to trust, you need to like kind of shut yourself off to the outside world right now and to get clarity with what your intuition is saying. And notice that like your intuition may not be your instinct, your intuition may not be guiding you in a direction that feels comfortable right now, but it's always going to be that thing that's like really uncomfortable but is in your highest and best interest that's going to allow you to move forward. There's also a big energy of like letting yourself have time, like giving yourself time to feel, giving yourself time to make a decision. Don't try to rush into it right now. If you're looking for a time frame, I'm kind of getting this idea of like waiting for the next lunar cycle to hit, because we have like these two moon energies, one that's almost like a new moon, one that is a full moon. So I'm looking at like give yourself a whole moon cycle to really feel into how you're feeling. And then when you feel like your intuition's screaming at you, kind of like this howling idea, that's when you know that that's the right decision for you, and to trust yourself when you go into it. Because again, this is for your highest and best. This is for your future. Now, collectively as a whole, I feel like there's a lot of needing to release. So let's go ahead and consult some Oracle to see perhaps something that is putting pressure on you, something that is holding you back. And we see Taurus, and this is reversed. So I'm seeing this kind of similar to, again, all this masculine energy. Wow, you have a lot of, I don't want to say stagnation, but kind of like this stuckness energy, this really heavy pressure, grounding energy that's surrounding you right now that's really not serving you and being able to flow more. One of the things with Taurus too is like this very grounding energy, but perhaps where are you resisting structure, where are you resisting stability, where are you creating chaos where there doesn't need to be any, because that's not helping you get to where you want to be. And this being one of the only other reverse cards associated with the Queen of Cups, aside from the Queen of Cups, I'm seeing this parallel here that maybe what you're resisting here is stability. Maybe you are trying to find problems where there aren't any right now, and you're really trying hard to be in your masculine, to go, to create results. And again, kind of coming from this energy, I'm seeing here with like all the different elements that the King of Pentacles is sitting around and has access to, like you want it all and you can have it all. And I want you to know that, but it's not going to come through you forcing yourself there, you bulldozing your way through there. There is an amount of structure that is helpful for you, but right now you're putting it probably in the wrong place. So figuring out like where that is for you. Let's see what you need to let go of. So we see cosmic reflection. Okay, so The first thing that comes to mind when I see this is that perhaps you have been looking too far into things like this, like looking into tarot, looking into yourself, like really just going too deep into your feels, like I see with the Queen of Cups here, and that you need to let go of this idea that you can see everything right now, that there has to be an answer, there has to be a decision made, and lean into just being able to realign with your values. This is associated with the number 9, so the completion of a cycle. What is it that you have been resisting letting go of? What have you been resisting change? And then that might be the thing that is going to help you release all this energy that has been kind of stuck. Now let's see what messages we have for you. Oh, wow, very easily, 7 of crystals. So this one being kind of what you need to remember here as you go through your journey is that you have a lot of options, okay? You don't have to feel like you are stuck in this one thing, that this is make or break, that everything is so serious. You have a lot of options and you're on your way to creating the results that you want. Number 7 is a really reflective energy. It is a very spiritual energy. It helps guide you to the direction that you want to go. If you're willing to listen to it. And I see here, this aardvark here is part of your spirit guides. And one of the things with the aardvarks is they're always sniffing things out, right? They're kind of sniffing out like their different options in order to create the result that they want to create, which is to get their answer, where they want to get what they want to get. So similar to like how this is associated with the Lord here, of you want to get somewhere, there's a very clear goal that you're after. And in order to get there, you got to follow that smell. You got to follow your senses, got to trust your senses. And if you're patient here, and this I see also with almost like an association with the cosmic reflection and the Taurus here, is that when you can create some structure to evaluate how you're going to make decisions, that can also give you some more insight into your feelings. So if you're somebody who's always like feeling their feelings and making decisions based off of them, how are you measuring your results here? Because especially in times like this where you seem to be going through a major upgrade, a major life change into expanding who you really want to be, you are also breaking away from past systems, past structures, past decision-making paradigms, and it's asking you to create some new way for you to listen to yourself so you can trust yourself, in order for you to stop fighting everything that's coming in, questioning like, is this right, is this wrong? And the last thing we see here of kind of what you're going to be inviting in is being able to have courage and also find solutions. So interesting how we have these two being associated. We have results here and we also have solutions here. We have options in here and we also have courage in here. So being able to see that either way you're going to be okay, like whatever decision you make, it's going to be fine, but you have to trust yourself to be able to make some type of decision in this next, moon cycle. The feathers being a air card as well shows me that there is an abundance of knowledge, of wisdom within your thoughts currently. This little mouse brings to you this energy of not being trapped in your situation, to see that, hey, whatever decision you're making, like the future, what it has to hold for you, is this energy of being able to have the courage in yourself to create any solutions, to be this really smart, like avoiding danger, avoiding being caught up in a trap, being really quick and decisive, and going through all the challenges that you have been going through recently. Like this is going to be allowing you to recognize your own abilities, recognize your own resourcefulness, recognize how you are a lot stronger, a lot braver than you think you are, in order to get what it is that you want. So all in all here, with your reading as a whole, I'm seeing this karmic lesson for you to be able to have the courage to move forward, to continue expanding. Whatever comes out of this month, just know that you're going to be a lot stronger for it, that you're going to be really grateful for all the struggle that has happened already, even though it feels like total crap right now. Like, just know that there is relief coming, that the results and like the options of what you can do to move forward is coming through, that you have the wisdom within you to find the solutions, and you have the courage to take the steps that are right for you. If you resonated with this reading, let me know down below, and just leave me a little mouse emoji to claim this reading for you, to claim this energy, and have the strength to continue moving forward. I'm wishing all of you well. I'm wishing you strength and courage during this time, and I will see you in the next reading. Okay, hello, group number 2. Welcome. You have chosen the Botswana Agate crystal as well as the Mystical Cats Tarot deck. So the Botswana Agate is all about adaptation. It's associated with your root chakra, and what I'm saying here is that there's this need to remove some limiting beliefs, maybe some destructive thought patterns that have been going on in your life. It's really asking you to step into your own personal power this month, maybe take some responsibility and accountability for where you have been and where it is that you want to be. Just know that you really are being supported during this time, that you are way more independent than you think you are, and you can let go of whatever has happened in the past. You can let go of whatever's been holding you back and really start with this clean new slate for yourself. Okay, so let's see. Oh, we already got it. So we got Demon Cat, which is associated with the devil in traditional tarot. So this being your energy currently, I'm seeing a lot of this holding of negative thoughts, negative thought patterns, negative habits, because like we said right here with the Botswana Agate, this is so interesting how directly correlated they are. You have a lot of thoughts that are keeping you down. Maybe you're really pressuring yourself to focus too much on like the material world. One of the things that I see here is like this idea of the matrix, right? And being caught up in the matrix, turning you into your worst self and making yourself your worst enemy, making yourself a project to be worked on, and you're destroying this light, feathery, like flowy, free energy that you have within you. It's crushing this like bird spirit that's within you, and instead you're replacing it with a lot of anger, shame, hatred, maybe even like some pessimistic thinking too on your part towards yourself. And perhaps this is bleeding onto other people, but I really see this as your relationship with yourself being really hurt currently. So let's see why this might be. Like, what is the worry for you? What are some things that have been influencing you, maybe coming from your past? And we see the Ace of Sea. And the Ace of Sea is a really beautiful card, but it is reversed. And the Ace of Sea here is like the beginning of a new chapter of like feeling. It is really in your energy of emotion. So perhaps you blocking off your feelings. Where have you learned in your past that you cannot feel your feelings? Where have you learned to push away how it is that you feel, what your truth is? Even if it's like to yourself, like where have you learned to really push those things down? Maybe do the things that you don't really want to do because you think that it's good for you. Maybe even desires that you have for life, for goals that you might have that aren't serving you, that you learn that you have to have because that's just how you survive. That's how, you were told you needed to be. And what I'm seeing here is right now in the future, we have strength. So this is something that you want to create in the future. And it's so funny that we have these two black cats too, because it is this very easily seen like correlation between this being your current energy and what's taking hold of you and kind of keeping you down versus what it is that you need to let go of and be able to come into what it is that you actually care about. And having the strength to feel your feelings, for example, like this is something that really comes up is like you having the courage to feel your feelings, and that is where strength comes from. Strength also comes from knowing that you don't always have to be this aggressive type. It's funny that we have this demon cat that was like killing a bird, and now we have this really still strong cat that even it goes against like their natural instinct to go kill and like hunt or whatever, it can live peacefully with these little birds, and it's actually being restful. And we see also water in your past of like the thing that may be blocking, the thing that maybe you're worried about, and now we're just like in this peaceful environment with water in the background. I see so much correlation here, and both of these also, just to note, is like major arcana cards, so big themes in your life. Like I'm seeing you adapting, like you having this crystal and releasing these limiting thoughts, limiting patterns for you is going to lead you to really big change to allow you to continue moving on in your life. So if you haven't given yourself the space to really feel your feelings, like now is the time to do that, to start this new chapter for yourself. But let's see this might be like a stressor for you. We have the sun reversed. Okay, so a big thing here is that the sun is a beautiful card. It's all about this abundance. You see, like, the sun is shining, the cats are just like lying around, luxuriating in its light. There's no worries whatsoever in the day. But I'm seeing this reversed for you as like maybe there's stress for you, that you have to hold on to these limiting beliefs, that you have to hold on to this idea that maybe you have to hustle really hard, that you can't have it all, that you have to do what's responsible, that you have to reach a certain income goal or have a status that you really have been pieing after. I'm seeing a lot of like your past stories coming to almost like haunt you in this cycle right now, but also that there's a lot of hope, because like we said, like there is strength that comes out of this in you being able to recognize and take accountability for what you've been believing, how you've been going about life, and actually seeing that you have the free will to change, and also that this is going to help you rewire that subconscious. The sun being such an abundant thing, but it being reversed is like, where are you resisting abundance? Right? Like, where are you stressing because you feel like everything that you want is so far away that you're actually digging yourself deeper into this hole of pain, of discomfort, of, maybe not living aligned in your values, of hurting people, hurting yourself. And you're using this even like self-critical thinking or self-harming habits to keep this abundance away, even though that's what it is that you really seek. You really want to be able to be this flowy, like loving energy that knows that everything is present, that you can take time to rest and all this stuff, but there's something that's holding you back. So let's see how you can relieve that stress. Maybe the stress of abundance, the stress of having it all and like being able to create it all is just too much right now. And instead, I want you to lean into the 3 of C. So another C card here that we have, again, feeling into your feelings. And I see that maybe it's time to go hang out with your friends. I just noticed that this is a little far down in my view. So I'm going to move that up for you. So 3 of C here, these beautiful cats, like, and this seal that is such a nice friend, they're all just like laying around, and I see this parallel between these two of perhaps you've been stressing too much about when is your time gonna come, when are things gonna change for you, when are you gonna get this result, when are you gonna find this partner, when are you gonna make all this money in your business or whatnot, and instead of worrying so much about it because it is something that is meant for you, if it's meant for you, it will come to you when you're in the right energy to receive it. But right now, one of the things that the universe will do is protect you from going deeper and like finding evidence for the beliefs that are no longer serving you, especially when you're in this adaptation phase where you're changing course, when you are expanding into a different line of thinking, into a different line of being. If you are given the results that you want, right? Let's say that you're given this abundance that you want from this energy of I'm not good enough, I have to really hustle hard to get what I want, I have to change my body in order to receive love, I need to heal everything, like whatever it is, and you receive that abundance, it's going to be evidence for you that that's the way that you have to do things in order to live. And the universe is way more aware than you are, and it's saying, no, that's not what we want. What we want instead is for you to learn these lessons of having to lean into your support system, being able to rest, to feel into your emotions, to trust yourself, be able to use like your body, your mind, your spirit, this power of 3, be able to find peace and balance within yourself and also around the world, with like you and the world around you, right? Because we have 3 little birds here, we have 3 creatures here, we have different species in both, and I'm seeing a lot of this like finding the similarities instead of the differences, both in your relationships especially, because these give a lot of that relationship energy, but also within yourself, like in your goals, your past, like where are you way more similar to this future version of yourself that you're building? Where is it in your life currently that there's actually a lot more similarities and show you like how you are actually closer to your goals than you think? And that should be able to be the thing that helps you release that stress, release that subconscious worry, and start looking forward. So actually, I'm going to switch decks now and get some messages from the universe to talk about what's going on in your past that might be affecting you. Because when you're in this change, it requires a lot of patience, right? And if you're feel like you're being held back right now, let's see why. We have Death of a Star. So this is again associated with the Death card in tarot, which you have two really, really strong cards here. Okay, we have the Devil card, we have the Death of a Star, and we have the Sun. We also have Strength, which is the Major Arcana card that kind of is what happens after the first phase of life, right? After you go through like the Fool's Journey, this like finding yourself, finding your courage, finding how you can create results in your life, there comes a point in time where in order to continue moving forward, in order to keep expanding, if that's what you're choosing to do, and what I'm seeing here is that is what you want to do. You want to create more in your life. Well, if you want to do that, you have to find the strength to keep going. You have to find the strength within yourself to trust yourself, to make decisions, to be able to feel into your emotions, to use the strength of all of the wisdom that's within you, in your body, in your mind, in your spirit, instead of just thinking your way out of it, instead of pushing yourself and forcing yourself, which is what I'm seeing a lot of this Death card in. And what you might be resisting is the death of that version of yourself. So really giving yourself that time and space to even grieve the person who you were. Maybe a lot of past traumas are coming up for you, and that this stuff is holding you back if you can't allow it to let go, if you can't allow the death to happen, to rebirth, to see the good in it. And remember here that it's all just a change in perspective. So let's see if we can get a little bit more specific of what it is that you need to let go of here too. And we see the first quarter reversed. So this is associated with the number 3, and it's the only other 3 that we have here is the 3 of C. So perhaps letting go of this idea, again, because this is reversed, letting go of this idea that you have to constantly be doing, constantly be, hustling and whatever, because I see a lot of this is a very upright energy. It's standing up, it's being aggressive, it's using all of its strength and power, but in a really aggressive way, versus these cards here are all very calm. They're all just chilling. They're all just lying down. So it's chill the fuck out here. If anything, that's a really big message from your spirit guides right now, is chill the fuck out and just enjoy life for a little bit. Literally go have some fun, whatever that looks like to you. And one of the things that comes through in the first quarter card is that this moon phase is all about focus. It's about pushing forward a little bit, but because this is in the spot of where you might want to be letting go of, is that I'm saying that maybe you've been pushing yourself too hard. And we kind of already saw this earlier in your reading, but where maybe you're resisting is, again, this letting go of this energy that you have to push through, you have to work super hard, that you have to hold on to these really painful beliefs about yourself. And for example, motivating yourself through shame and through hatred, self-hatred and stuff like this, in order to get you to go to the gym, and instead of using you hate your body, you got to change, no one's gonna love you, or you really got to push through, and who's gonna respect you, you have to use discipline, all this stuff that we learn in the Matrix, instead of feeling into, okay, we're allowed to rest, we're allowed to take some time off, we can see how we are way more similar than how we're different. Even when you want to get to a goal, right, there's this idea that you have to change so much of yourself, you have to develop yourself, right? This personal development idea where you're not good enough right now, that where you are is wrong or faulty. And I see a lot of this pressure that you've had to focus on what it is that you want, and instead what if you just release that? What if you release the pressure? What if you let yourself instead tap into that relaxation, into allowing things to come in instead of forcing it? And something that you need to remember, let's see what animal guides are coming forward for you. We have the 8 of Crystals. So the buffalo spirit, and the buffalo is all about dedication and progress. And this is interesting because we just had the first quarter reverse, which is all about focus. And the 8 of Crystals is similar energy, but it's about dedication and seeing your own progress, noting that, there doesn't have to be a rush on where you're going, that because you know where you're going, it is inevitable as long as you don't give up on yourself. And if you can recognize the progress that you've already made, it can truly let go of all this energy of, the limiting beliefs, the negative thinking, the staying in the matrix. If you can recognize and celebrate yourself, maybe you've been doing past healing, maybe you've been working with a therapist, maybe you have been thinking about working with a coach, and that might be something that helps you out here. Even just having the desire to do more for yourself, to take care of yourself more, these are all signs of progress in the direction that you want to go, in being able to be more in harmony with the world. That's something that I'm also seeing with these, as well as the thing that you really are stressed about subconsciously that you want to call in is that sun energy, right? That abundance energy. And just know yes, it's going to take persistence and dedication and a clear spirit to like drive forward, but it's not going to be doing it in the way that you have been. So find creative ways to go after what it is that you want. Don't get stuck into just like what is familiar for you. Lean into the discomfort, and it might feel wrong. It's gonna feel wrong a lot of the times, but it doesn't mean that it is wrong. We have the Six of Shells here as our last card of what you're inviting in if you're able to go through this. And we have these two otters, and there's been a few cards here where we're seeing a collaboration energy. Maybe there's something in May for you of being able to collaborate with somebody, asking for help, hiring a coach, working with a therapist, maybe starting a new business, maybe starting a new workout routine, even going out with friends more. There's a lot of that friends where it's time to lean into your relationships here, because when you're so caught up in the matrix, when you're so caught up in what you want and what you have to do to get there, and this independence that you have to do everything on your own or else it doesn't count, or whatever is like that selfish desire of you self-servingness, time to shift out of that. Let that part of you die and start leaning into what is it that's really going to bring you that love, that connection that you seek, that abundance that you seek, because it's probably not going to be just in the material world. I think about this all the time when I think about business, or when I was even in school, right? We're taught to always be reaching a certain goal, that you always have to be up leveling. But in that entire time, like that it feels like total ass. It's the worst unless you have people to go along that journey with you, right? So who is it in your life that you want to bring along with you? Who is it in your life who is supporting you, who is showing you that they can be trusted, that you love, that you want to reach out to help for? Because those are going to be the people that help make the journey a lot better. And like we see in the Buffalo Spirit, this like single spirit, you have the strength to make it happen. Yes, it is up to you to take responsibility for what you can and cannot do, and let go of what you can't be in control of, and just focus on what you can. But in the meantime, that doesn't mean that you have to do it alone, right? Just because you're the one who makes things happen doesn't mean that you're not allowed to have support and friendship and love and connection and rest and all the good things, because this is showing you that you are inviting in joy, you're inviting the sentimental value of a life, which is creating those memories with the people that you love. So lean into your relationships more, be more gentle with yourself. Like please, please, please be gentle with yourself, and let go of anytime a thought comes out for you, anytime you want to lean into a bad behavior. And I'm using bad like, what is not serving you. What you've been wanting to let go of. What it is that's been challenging for you, especially when it comes with trauma. Like, be gentle with yourself, but again, take responsibility for where you want to go. You are way stronger than you think, and there are good things coming your way. So if you enjoyed this reading, go ahead and leave an otter emoji if there is one. I think there is one. If not, you can go ahead and leave a shell emoji, because we see a lot of you needing to be in your feels with the Six of Shells, the Three of Sea, the Ace of Sea, be in your feelings. So go ahead and leave a shell emoji down in the comments to let me know that you are claiming this energy, that you got to the end of your reading, and that you enjoyed it. Until next time, friends, I hope you stay well. Hello, Group 3, and welcome to your May energy reading. We have the traditional Rider-Waite tarot deck, but in its pocket edition, this little small form. And we also have the blue lace agate crystal, which is associated with the throat chakra. So I'm seeing a lot of like you needing to speak your truth, you needing to come out with like what it is, like how you really feel. And this might be difficult right now for you during Mercury in retrograde. Like you don't really know what your truth is, or maybe you have been knowing what your truth is. Maybe you have been kind of sitting on this, but you aren't allowing yourself to speak it. So I want you to know that, you can pull on this crystal for that strength in order to communicate how it is that you really feel, to speak to your spirit guides as well. And let's see what's going on for you. Ooh, okay. So we have two cards right off the bat. One of the things too that I want to know is that with this being the mini deck, I think the size here is showing me like you've been keeping yourself small. Maybe you're afraid to speak your truth. Maybe there's something that's been on your mind. Perhaps you've been wanting a raise. Perhaps you've been in a relationship and you're not being pleased in the way that you want to, and you want to tell your partner like how to please you more, or whatever. Maybe there's a friend who's crossing a boundary, or a parent who's crossing a boundary in your life, and you're just afraid to speak, and you're keeping yourself small in that energy. And how can we kind of release that? How can you allow yourself to take up space to know that what you are saying, what your truth is worthy of being shared? It's valid, and it needs to be heard. So the first card is the Magician, and I love this for you because the Magician is somebody who has been able to see that they can do whatever it is that they want to do, right? That they have this free will in their life, that they can synthesize through all these different elements in the world and come together to make magic happen. And this being reversed, though, I'm seeing for you is perhaps that there's been a blockage here, right? Again, the speaking your truth piece, that is probably your major block right now. Where is it that you need to be honest with yourself, honest with your spirit, honest with other people? And the thing that I'm seeing is worrying you as well is the Eight of Pentacles. So the Eight of Pentacles is interesting because it's a lot about material, like wealth. The 8 is a really abundant number, but we see in this image here of this guy who is etching in all the pentacles into these discs, right? And then we're putting it up on this tree. I'm seeing a lot of this working energy and a lot of working towards your abundance, and this dealing with like your material wealth as well. But maybe you're perhaps afraid of rocking the boat in your current reality. I actually kind of forgot if this was reversed or not, but I feel like it belongs like this, upright. So within this Eight of Pentacles, we see a lot of work energy. We see that like craftsmanship energy, that skill energy. Maybe what the thing that you're struggling with right now to speak your truth is within your job, within your career, within whatever it is that you're crafting for work. And the Magician of inside of you that wants to create or wants to know that you're worth more. Maybe you're not being, maybe you're like, worth is not being seen. We have so many cards popping up for you. Let me see what's going on here. So this is something that I'm seeing as like a subconscious stress for you that is giving us a little bit more insight into what's worrying you, what's influencing you. Being able to do your work in peace in a way that you feel good about yourself. So let's look at this like sneaky energy that's kind of coming up for you as a subconscious stress factor. We have the Seven of Swords. So we have 8 and then we have 7. Combined here, we have the number 5. So I'm seeing perhaps a change in your consciousness, a change in your energy focus. Is it possible for you that you're trying to have too much, to try to carry too much burden on yourself, that you are trying to take more than what is your fair share, so to speak? I think this might be where you are perhaps limiting yourself, and like this is the stress that's been coming up. So I'm seeing maybe like imposter syndrome, maybe you asking for a raise, right? Like, oh, are you taking this away from somebody else? Is this too much to ask? You being able to speak your prices when you are working with clients or customers, and being able to own that you're not doing anything unethical. Like the Seven of Swords is kind of this idea that this guy is trying to take on too much as being almost unethical in some way. So I'm seeing this as a subconscious stress for you, is like you're questioning your ethics, you're questioning whether or not your truth or like what it is that you want is worthy. And again, like you know it's there because you are the Magician, but like within your work, like where do you feel like there might be this energy of you working your craft and you wanting more for yourself is making you unethical, or whatever it is, the decision that you're trying to make. So what are you working towards though? We have the Devil reversed, and let's see what else wants to come up, because there is a relief to the stress that the message wants to show. And we have the Moon reversed. Okay, so we have a lot of reversals here. I would highly recommend doing some type of like energetic cleansing for yourself, whether that is with sage, whether that is with crystals, a sound bath, maybe even just getting out of your element, because you have 3 major arcana cards here that are all associated with where you are and where you're going, and they're all reversed. So I'm seeing a major block. You got to speak your truth, whatever it is that's holding you back in your work life, especially, but maybe this is dealing with your relationships as well. Maybe it's, you feel like you're working really hard in your relationships to make something happen. Maybe you have been putting in a lot of your energy. Maybe you've been putting a lot of your time, and you've been this person who's carried all this weight and the burden of maybe your family life, maybe your friendship or whatever, and you're thinking about peeling away, but it feels selfish, it feels like you're doing something bad, it makes you feel unethical in some way, and you're really getting caught up in your head about it, and that's creating this stress in yourself. But what I'm seeing is that you need to be able to speak how it is that you feel, because these are some really big themes in your life. Like, this is not just having to do with what your current situation is, but also like maybe who you have been in the past, maybe the way that you've been trained to think about dealing with people, dealing with conflict, and you need to let that go now, because what I see that what you want is freedom. Devil being reversed is kind of like this letting go of the matrix, letting go of limiting thoughts, of limiting beliefs. You see in this card that there's like this man and this woman that's chained, and it's kind of symbolic of Adam and Eve, and being really chained to the material world, right? Being chained to desires that aren't for your highest and best self, that maybe was placed on you, that maybe you've been working towards. What's coming up for me too is like maybe you have been kind of sick and tired of your job, you don't feel appreciated anymore, and you want to go and see like what is something that feels more purposeful for you. And that's what this card represents, is finding a new path for yourself that's not this traditional path, whether that is dating somebody, getting married, having kids. Maybe you want to stay single, maybe you want to be in a relationship but just have fun, maybe not take it so seriously. Maybe you're in a career where it's not serving you anymore, you maybe got the money that you wanted to get, or maybe you haven't, but you don't want to do it in the way that you have been anymore because it's starting to feel unethical. Maybe you even have a boss who's been telling you to do something that's unethical. Maybe you've been selling in a way that feels really unethical, and just not aligned with how it is that you want to live your life anymore. And you want to find this path of almost like enlightenment. You want to find this path of congruence, of alignment for you. And in order to do that, you have to be able to speak your truth to yourself, to see your own power. And one of the ways that I see relief coming to your way is the moon. So again, right now it's probably blocked, but if we look at all of this stuff upright, okay, because I want you to visualize this for you. I want you to take this into account, that this is all possible for you, because what I'm getting right now is that you don't think it's possible for you. So the moon here is all about intuition. We see the dog, we see the wolf or coyote howling together in unison. We see the sun inside of the moon as well, this radiant, gleaming thing. We see a lobster that's coming out of the sea. Like, it's all of the most instinctual things that happen when things come calling out. And like, there might be something that is like a little pointy, a little scary that might come out of the shadows. Maybe this fear of, well, what would happen if you leave your job? What would happen if you leave your relationship? What is really possible, because you've been told, right, that you can't do what you want to do, that you have to follow a certain path, that you're not really as magical or as capable as you actually are, and you're feeding into the matrix telling you that you shouldn't have what you want, that you shouldn't lean into how you feel, and you should ignore your intuition. But what I'm seeing is, in the future, like, this is actually what you want, and this is what you need to be working towards if you want to have sustainable happiness and success in the future. Let's look at perhaps what's been holding you back this whole time. I mean, we have a good essence here, but we see cultivating strength. So again, coming into, where do you feel like you're not capable? Where are you, like, it's really frustrating, right? That you aren't speaking your truth, that you're not even admitting it to yourself. Like, even practicing in the mirror, speaking it how you feel, practicing, rehearsing, what it's going to sound like when you resign from your job, or when you speak your price, or when you speak your needs in a relationship or whatnot. I'm seeing, again, this is a really career focus, but it can be anywhere. And notice that with this crystal too, that you have the strength. Like, this comes to you as a message that you have the strength. You can listen to your intuition. I see the third eye here, holding yourself, perhaps leading into somebody that that you can trust, that can give you that strength, that can remind you of your courage. But really, like, it's time to hold yourself and start practicing. Where can you speak your truth? And if there's multiple areas of your life that's coming up for you too, where you feel like you've been holding back, you haven't been fully honest, you're ignoring how it is that you really feel, maybe start by just doing the most smallest, simplest one, And, if none of them feel simple, just giving yourself that space to choose whatever, because once you start kind of opening the door to the truth, to you being able to stop caring so much about what other people are going to think, what the repercussions are going to be, the sooner you're able to trust your intuition again, and also move past the matrix, move past the negative thinking, the limiting beliefs, the self-destructive behaviors that are coming to you if you've been staying in a job that you really don't want to be in, if you've been, ignoring your intuition, if you've been in any situation. It's time to show that you do have the strength. And you believing that you don't, you thinking that all these bad things are going to happen and you're not going to be able to survive it. You can't survive the loneliness. You can't survive the not having a job for a while. All this stuff, that's all BS, and it's time to let it go. And something also to let go of is Libra reverse. So Libra is all about the scales, right? It's about balance. It's about fairness and justice and all the things. And it's funny here that this is something to release, because you have right here next to it, again, if we look at this, it's the same number. Oh my gosh, right? We have number 7. And we have this as you need to release this judgment that you have to yourself, this fear that you have that you're maybe doing something bad, that maybe you're hurting other people, that maybe you are being greedy or wanting more for yourself. That is all okay. You're turning into this new version of yourself that's requiring more energy. If you want more money in your life, why do you want to do it? Can you trust that you're a good person for doing that? Because if you want to be a resource for others, if you really truly want to serve other people, you have to get over this idea that you are not deserving of being compensated for your skills, that you have to give everything away to other people first. I'm seeing a lot of releasing this people-pleasing energy, and instead coming back into this balance. And Libra is a very airy, flowy energy, so stop being in your thoughts so much. I see these two being highly associated, because Libra being air is also associated with the swords element. So stop being so much in your head, let all that go, and tap into the strength of your inner wisdom. Now let's also look at perhaps what animal spirit guides we have that can help you, and what message you need to remember as you go through May, as you make these changes. We have the Ace of Crystals. Okay, we have a lot of things flying around right now. But we have the Ace of Crystals, we have the Panda Spirit, and you have to know right now that manifestation, whatever you've been manifesting, is right around the corner. That prosperity is trying to find you. And Ace of Crystals, this being kind of the Ace of Wands, I see a lot of this is a new beginning for you, that this is all happening in your favor, that this is all for good things. Even right now, it feels scary to speak your truth. Maybe it feels scary to believe in yourself, to go through this ickiness of feeling maybe you're the bad guy, or maybe you're doing something wrong, but knowing that it's in alignment for your highest and best, and because it is the first step to you creating this new chapter of manifestation and prosperity for yourself. Just know that this is a message from Spirit telling you that everything's going to be okay, that this is all going to work for you if you have the strength and courage to go through it, and let yourself evolve. So the next card we have for you is the Queen of Shells, and this is going to be the last card. This is what you are inviting in as you go through this journey in May, and this is all in your feelings, right? The Queen of Shells, this energy of being in your feelings. This is the Seal Spirit. We see peace and compassion, right? That you are inviting in peace in your life, that you are inviting compassion for yourself, for other people, if you can figure out this work situation. This is trying to find you. This is coming in right now. Love wants to find you. This wisdom wants to find you. And these two put together sound so nice, right? Who doesn't want to feel at peace and feel compassionate while also having everything that they want to come in, all the manifestations and all the prosperity to come in? If you just release whatever it is that's been worrying you, if you can release this idea that you have to live a certain way, or that you are limited in some way, speak your truth, look at your truth, look at what your spirit guides want to tell you, because there is a lot of security and peace and happiness and comfort coming your way. You just got to believe in yourself, just got to speak your truth. All right, friends, that is everything for your May reading. Go ahead and leave a megaphone emoji down in the comments to let me know that you are part of group 3, that you are claiming your truth, that you are no longer being afraid to hold back, to not speak, and you are claiming this prosperous, peaceful, compassionate energy into your life, into May. And just know that whenever you go through the challenges of wondering about your ethics, come back home to yourself, come back home to maybe even your people, to know and remind yourself that you are doing all of this in your highest and best self. that you will be stronger once you just flip through this chapter, and that prosperity and peace and compassion is finding you now. I'll see you in the next video. Alright, hello, group number 4, and welcome to your May energy reading. You chose the Mystic Farie Tarot deck as well as the black Tourmaline combined with the clear crystal quartz crystal. So this is really interesting because we have both this protective energy and this clarity energy. Black Tourmaline is a very powerful protective crystal, and with the clear quartz too, like I'm seeing there's a lot of transmuting into positive energy. So maybe you're going through a really dark time right now, there's a lot of bad, but you're also able to see the good side of things, that you're able to have this dual awareness, and that's a really beautiful skill. And if you can lean into that to allow these dark times or uncertain times, whatever you're going through, to inform where you're going, to have hope, have this optimism for the future, this is going to allow you not to just like feel protected currently, but also help give you that clarity in your decisions that you move forward. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started in your reading. Let's see what your energy. Ooh, okay. We have a lot of things I wanted to follow, but nothing specific. So we have the Devil card. Oh my goodness. So obviously, because you're just looking at this one, this card has been showing up in almost every single deck. And I'm seeing this maybe because Mercury in retrograde is affecting everyone, because this year is a collective year 7, which is all about introspection, about spiritual growth, spiritual alignment, and all these things, where everyone's being affected by this. So I want you to know that if you're going through these dark times, if you're having trouble seeing clarity, it's not just you, it's literally everybody, and to be way more compassionate towards yourself as you go through this. So the Devil Fairy here is this energy of limiting beliefs. There's this energy of you holding yourself in the matrix, not being able to kind of see your way out here. It's really leaning into too much of like materialism, too much of, financial pressure, too much of like prestige, or what are other people going to think. It's really like about gathering all the things, almost like looking at all the dark sides of humanity and that coming through. Maybe you feel this grip on yourself that's coming through for you, and just be aware that has a grasp on you right now. And so anytime that you're having these negative thoughts, anytime that you feel like there's this dark energy around you, don't make decisions from that place. Let that kind of ride out and try to find the light in that. Similar to where we have this bracelet, right, with the black tourmaline and the clear quartz. In order to find that clarity, you have to know that you are protected here, and trust your intuition, trust the people around you too, in order to show you what is true, what is false, what is in alignment with you, what is not. And this is a journey that you need to go on, because I'm seeing this as a major arcana card, right? It's a big journey for you to see what is no longer aligned with you, where have you been operating too much from the matrix, and being able to break that down. So we see the 7 of Cups here. So I'm seeing some past influences for you as this gentleness, and I see this contrast between the Devil, where we see him kind of veiny, angry eyes, like really evil spirit, versus the 7 of Cups, which is like a super gentle, loving spirit who's just kind of looking into her bubble with flowers around her. Where have you been shown in your past that you can't be this gentle, loving spirit? That maybe you see this in work where you think that nobody's going to respect you unless you're mean, or until you get to a certain title. Maybe in a relationship, you don't think that being loving, and instead you have to be really aggressive, or you have to be almost manipulative, narcissistic in a way, in order to get what it is that you want. The other thing about the 7 of Cups is that it's a lot about choices. If you look at her, she's like really trying to decide something here. So where is it in your past that you've maybe decided to go down this path of material wealth, of maybe doing things because it was popular, because you saw other people doing it, and it brought you down this whole road, this whole life that now you look at and you feel like maybe you've lost yourself. You don't even know who you are anymore. You don't really know what's important to you, and it's creating all of this stress in your life. You're really asking for a big change, and if you don't, then you're just going to continue going down this path. So something has to change here, something has to give. But let's see what it is that you're stressing about. we have the Nine of Pentacles. So a lot of material, worldly stuff here. And this makes a lot of sense with the Devil card. Before we go too into this, let's see like what it is that you actually want to create in your life. Like, what is the future goal for you? What is something that you're working towards? And we see the King of Cups. Okay, so we have cup energy for what's been worrying you, but also what it is that you want in your future. You want to be this very in touch with your emotions, in touch with your masculine energy, being able to come at things from maybe a more compassionate lens than what the Devil offers, right? Being able to feel more into your feelings, but in a really wise way, right? The King of Cups is somebody who is able to make decisions both from this loving place, but also this awareness of what is going on around them. He's a very compassionate and caring individual. They care about their happiness. And one of the messages from this also is that they are less concerned about what is like good in society's view, like what other people approve of, versus what makes him and his people happy. So a huge contrast to the Devil, and I see really similar vibes here, like both with the armband, both with like the head tilt, both with their tail being curled here, and both with like the wing structure. It feels really like that this lives within you, and this is your true nature, and this is also what you know is more aligned with you. But right now, this harsher part of yourself, this more critical part of yourself is coming up. This part of you that's worried about like maybe what other people think. And we see like what is the subconscious stress here, the Nine of Pentacles. It almost looks like she's having a nightmare, right? And I could be wrong here. This could be also like being really pleased and really enjoying because these mouses look really happy, but that there is something that needs to be completed, a cycle that's been completed. Maybe you've gotten everything that you wanted. Kind of like this idea with the golden handcuffs, right? Maybe you have everything you want. Maybe you are in a place in your life where you have the money, the prestige, the partner, the health, the whatever, but there's still something that's not sitting right with you. And it's maybe because you haven't achieved it in the way that you really want to, or maybe you've made a choice in the past to go after this because it was safe, because it was secure. And, that's awesome that you've been able to create this for yourself now, but now there's a new focus that you need to create in order to continue sustaining this material wealth or sustaining the life that you really want that might need you to sacrifice some of this. Maybe it's money, maybe it's some relationships, whatever it may be, maybe it's status, but that this is all aligned with what's actually going to make you happy. And it's time to prioritize your own happiness. I think that you need a lot of compassion in yourself to know that you're worthy of compassion, that there is a way for you to live a life that is aligned with who it is that you truly want, and also not have to give up everything that you've worked for because you have been working really hard. What I'm seeing as your relief here is using your resources, really putting up a fight against this Devil energy, this like pull towards like you can't leave, you can't give up, you can't, this is everything that you are and nothing more. This really like in the Matrix energy, I'm seeing you have to rebel against that and owning your magic, owning the fact that you actually have created all these resources. Now it's time to go and like hire a coach, hire a therapist, start, finding people in your circle that is going to help engage with you in this level that sees your true self instead of your past self. And this also gives this idea of like striking when the iron is hot. Like, don't wait for this to happen, right? Don't wait for a sign. This is your sign. Don't wait for things to get worse for you to realize that you've dug yourself even deeper into this matrix, into the hole, into the belief about, who you should be, what you have to do in order to get out. Start now because you already are aware of this and you have the resources for it. So doing that is going to give you this relief. It's going to allow you to complete this cycle and open up a new cycle of congruence, of alignment, of happiness for you in a way that you've never been able to experience in the past because you were too focused on whatever this decision wasn't for you in the past. You were too focused on getting to where you are now. So one thing that I want to switch to now is seeing some more messages of maybe what's been holding you back. Maybe where is there pressure that you're putting on yourself that's not allowing you to move forward. And what I see here is liminal space. Okay, you need to give yourself space. Doesn't matter if it is an hour or a weekend, but you need to be by yourself. You need to sit with this transition. This is number 11. It's a master number that's all about new beginnings. For you to be able to actually transition and get out of this energy of being held back, being stuck in this world, not being able to see like what your true purpose is, how you're, why your spirit's here, who it is that you really are, how it is that you want to live your life. You can't do this as you're stuck in this shit. Okay, so go and find some space. Go and find some respite. This is literally a blank card, right? You have a blank slate. If you were a blank slate, if your memory was completely wiped, if you had no idea the quote rules of the world, or what you've been told are the rules of the world is, how would you want to live life? What would be the decisions that you want to make? And start answering those questions, because you have not been giving yourself the space to reflect and actually tap into what it is that you want, which is just keeping you more and more stuck. Okay, so we see Aquarius here, and this was reversed, but one of the things with Aquarius is that it is, oh, look at that, a number 11. So we see a lot of that. This is a new beginning for you, and you're resisting it. Do not resist this. It's time to let go. So Aquarius is marchers to the beat of their own drum. There are people who are here to serve the world. They're very humanitarian. They're like the humanitarians of the zodiac signs, right? They're also an air sign, but is like kind of associated with water, right? Because they are the water bearer. And what I'm seeing for you here is that there's a deeper purpose that you need to find, but you need to let go of this conformity, because this was reversed. So maybe you've been trying too hard to fit in, to go about things in the way that you think you should, that the society has told you should. You've been putting on a mask, playing a part or a role in your life because that's what you thought needed to be accepted in order to feel loved, in order to create success in your life, in order to be satisfied. But you're seeing now that like fulfillment needs to come in a different way, and it's going to start with you being able to go down your own path and find that out for yourself. Fun fact with this too is I'm an Aquarius personally, so I am personally like, I love this card. I love this whole thing for you. And if you need support, please reach out to me, because this is not an easy transition. Like, it's really hard to go from feeling like, you have everything that you thought that you needed to work towards, but it's not enough for you. It can be really painful, but it's also a really beautiful and necessary journey that's going to leave you a lot happier. So let's see what it is that you need to remember, and some animal spirits to look out for as you move forward in this journey, as you go through May. We have the Queen of Shells. Okay, so we have the King of Cups and the Queen of Shells, which are both King and Queen of Cups. So all about emotions. You need to be in your feels. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think you have been probably operating too much from like your, not necessarily just your thoughts, but what you think you should want, right? So again, where is it that you're in a relationship, you're in a career, you're making choices in your health, or even like where it is that you're living? Like, how are you living your life according to some type of rule, some type of decision that you've made in the past? Maybe a past promise to yourself, a past promise to a loved one. Maybe you hold a grudge and you decided like you're going to prove all these people wrong by like being the most successful person, or whatever it may be. And sure, you got like good things that came out of it, but now it's no longer serving you. Now you're in this liminal space of needing to transition, and what you want is peace and compassion. Just know in this that you need to remember what it is that you truly value in this world. If you value peace and compassion, it's time to let go of anything that doesn't bring you that. I don't care if it's a job that you had to work 10 years for to get, but is now not making you happy. Don't care if it's a relationship with somebody who's like super hot and like, out of your league or whatever. You need to let them go, because this is about your own peace, your own relationship with yourself, your future, that is going to allow you to live with a lot more happiness, a lot more kindness and compassion, a lot more peace. So if you need help, again, in this transition, I'm getting this really strong hit to come talk to me or work with a coach. Just find ways to get out of your own thinking and see how it's possible for you. You need to see that this is not just a fantasy for you. This is not just something that, is a pipe dream for you. It's actually possible for you. It's here now. You have the resources to do it, and you got to take action. So the last thing that I want you to know is that what you're inviting in currently in May is blessings and well-being. You are inviting in this transition. We have the 10 of Shells here. So a lot of this feeling, loving energy, you want this kindness and compassion and peace in your life. You are ready to make this change, And what you just have to know is that there are blessings coming your way, and this is going to be in ways that maybe you don't even imagine for yourself. Maybe you struggle with imposter syndrome for most of your career. Maybe you struggle with self-hate, with disordered eating, with traumatic relationships and stuff like that. Maybe there has been so much pent up in your past that now you're ready to release, that's now wanting to be transmuted. And what's keeping you stuck is just like your thoughts, your habits that you've developed over time to survive, really, to really honestly like be compassionate towards yourself of how you've gotten here. But now there's this clarity of you want to focus on your holistic well-being. You want all these blessings that the universe has to offer you, and one of the biggest blessings that you can ever give to yourself is the gift of finding out who it is that you truly are. So give yourself the freedom to explore that and to fulfill that for yourself. Also, if you're wondering what creature this is the pelican spirit. So you have the pelican and the seal spirit, two really, water-based creatures for you. Maybe go to the ocean, go to the beach, have some fun, go to an aquarium, whatever it is. Just look at the freeness of these animals that are kind of moving around. But also they're not like in the water. So also notice that. That's a really interesting thing for you is if you've ever demonized emotions, to know that you can feel your emotions but not be controlled by them. Okay, so if you enjoyed this reading and you resonate, go ahead and leave a water emoji to symbolize how you're starting to let the flow in, you're starting to let yourself feel all the feelings and claim this energy for yourself. I hope you have a fantastic May, and if you need anything, I'm here for you. I will see you in the next reading. Bye.